Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pontypool Pest Control. After watching COVID Hunter's live video, I took in what he said. Knowledge is not power, and he's right. So everything that I've picked up over the years, I'd like to share with you. So let's start from the very beginning. The first thing we need to do is put on the scope, and make sure that everything lines up perfectly. I know a lot of people still do this by eye, and yes, I admit it works. But for real accuracy, it needs to be absolute perfect. I always start by putting on the bottom halves of the mounts onto the gun. Then slide the scope on and very lightly do up the Allen keys. Now the scope is mounted to the gun, I have left it loose so you can position the scope where you find it comfortable. It also makes lining it up much easier. For the next step, we're going to need some bubble levels. You can find these on eBay or Amazon, they're pretty cheap. We need to place one on the rifle and one on the scope. Make sure they're both lined up, then tighten down the screws. Once you have finished, recheck with the bubbles. Sometimes you can move them slightly, so redo it until it's spot on. Now you're happy that it's all in line and in a comfortable position to look through, we're ready for the final test. On the left is a piece of paper with a vertical line. If you look on the screen, the vertical line of the reticle covers it, and the bubble levels are also lined up. The scope is now set and ready to zero. There is another way to check if it's all in line after setting up with the bubble levels. This method is called a plumb line, or some call it a plumb bob. It's very easy, just attach a weight to a piece of string and let it hang. Place your reticle over the line and see if it covers it. Both these methods work and they're very easy to check, but always have your bubble levels attached when doing so. Just before I show you how I zero my rifles, I would like to explain it in a bit more detail. Back in my teens, I would set out a pop can or a bottle top at roughly 30 or 35 yards and adjust the windage and elevation. As soon as I hit what I was aiming for, I was happy and ready to hunt. Sometimes I bagged a few, but I had a lot more blank days, that's for sure. There is two things wrong with my old technique. First, I was setting the left and right in the wind. For example, if there was a 5-mile-an-hour wind coming from right to left, and it was moving my pellet 2 inches over to the left, whenever the conditions changed, I was already 2 inches out. And finally, look at the size of the can and the bottle top. The pellet could land in at the top, middle or bottom, and I would be happy to see it bounce up the field. Now after years of practice, I started zeroing using lines. I don't know if anyone else does this, or it's something that I've made up. By zeroing to a pen line, you can now hit anything, such as a matchstick head, a pellet, or a gnat's balls as they say. But don't forget, to make this happen, there is so much more that goes into one shot, and I will show you in all my upcoming videos. After me giving you all the gift of the gab, let's see it in action. I always start with a windage. This should be done between 8 and 10 yards, as the wind won't affect the pellet. I would normally use a thinner line, but for the video I used a felt tip pen. Just simply match the line of the reticle to the one on the paper. Keep shooting and adjusting until the pellet is on the line or it's very close. Now all that's left to do is set the height to the distance you wish to zero. Don't worry if the pellet moves left or right, that'll be the wind, and we've already done the windage. Just match up the line on your reticle, shoot and keep adjusting. Thank you very much to everyone who's made it this far in the video. I really do appreciate it. I hope you'll find this video helpful and easy to understand. If there's anything you're stuck on or would like to ask, please feel free to leave me a comment. I always take my time to reply to everyone. And if you're new to the channel, then you should consider subscribing, not to miss out on any of my upcoming videos. As always, I look forward to chatting to you all in the comments. If you would like to see what else I get up to or just fancy a chat, you can also find me over on Instagram. Thank you very much for watching. Keep safe. All the best. Pontypool Pest Control, aka the Sheriff.